on.
Are you recording audio? You need to make
Yeah,
sure you're recording the audio.
I think it is.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck me. What a nightmare.
The
Anyway,
worst podcast host in history.
yeah,
Oh, what's going on?
that was fucked up.
What's
Tom,
happening?
welcome back.
Thank you, sir. It
How was the trip?
was great.
Tom's got
Yeah.
lots to listen on.
The number one reason that we're actually in Thailand was for the wedding. Everyone thought that I'm just like fucking going on holidays every 8 weeks because it was literally like 7 weeks
I mean,
between
I
when I
didn't
got
even know
back.
you were there for a wedding.
Yeah, I went there for a wedding, but we were like, fuck it, we're going there anyway. Let's go to Bangkok and then we'll go to Phuket as well. But I actually rate Bangkok better than Phuket.
For
Really?
what?
Just like better culture, better food, which is obvious. For
Yeah.
me. I'm a massive foodie, but yeah, better culture, better food. Transport was much better. Like they had a very similar kind of system to like Singapore and Japan. It was a worse version of those two, like MRTs. But yeah, I went to this fucking clinic and I think I might be going back in 2 years for stem cells.
Wait,
No
really?
shit.
Yeah.
On
So,
what?
hey,
For what?
just fucking why not?
Just why
It
not?
works.
So
They
tell me,
don't
what's
really
this?
know why it works, but just for the regenerative like benefits that you can get, like it can literally reverse a lot of issues that are caused directly by bodybuilding. So it's
Yeah.
like I'd go back there for like fucking improve heart health, kidney function, like everything. Not that anything's particularly bad, but if I can like reverse the effects of the last fucking 5, 6 years of bodybuilding, why
Yeah.
not? And it's like it is expensive. It's like half the cost of a house deposit. It's like 40 to 60K, but we'll see what happens.
But like it's almost like, yeah, but I'm adding how many years back onto my life.
Yeah.
Pretty much. Yeah, that's the way I look at it.
Well, I know
And
Fuad got it because obviously Fuad has his kidney issues, and I know he got it sorted, and his like liver levels, or his kidney levels are like almost back to what they should be.
didn't he go from like stage 2 or stage 3 back to like stage 1 or yeah,
Yeah, he was like almost proper liver failure.
which is supposed to be like impossible.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Because we went to this clinic because Hannah wanted to get some Botox in her jaw because she like clenches a lot, so she gets like hypertrophied
Yeah.
fucking yeah, hypertrophied mastoid muscles. But when I was sitting there, I was like, fuck, you can give me some peptides while I'm sitting here. So we got like some brain peptide done. And I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work because I was smoking weed like nearly every single day over there. So it's
Yeah.
like kind of counterproductive. But got some brain peptide, got some glutathione. But yeah, it's like fucking everything's just legal over there pretty much. So it's
Yeah.
great. Good
Yeah.
fun.
I just got my bloods back last week.
How are they?
Um, yeah, everything was pretty good. Besides my one of my estrogen levels was high. I can't remember which one, like really high.
Yeah.
My test came down really quick. Like we'd I've gone down to like 250 a week, and it would have been like 2 weeks into that, and they were just really like it dropped quickly.
Weird.
Yeah, so really weird.
Do you reckon your last batch was not great? Maybe.
It's like the only thing I could pinpoint.
Yeah.
Anything.
Did you get the ultra sensitive like LCMS testing, or was it just a regular standard pathology clinic?
I get the one on whatever the one iMedical is.
Because I've been told that like specifically sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone, like sometimes they're not super accurate and they can be a
Yeah,
little bit up and down. So like if you're worried about it, you'd probably just get another test done.
yeah. I'm gonna like we're trying to level out this estrogen, so I'm gonna get tested again in a week or so and see if the
I
estrogens come down at least.
Because test will typically drop faster than estrogen. So what's probably
Yeah,
happened is test has come down, estrogen's still fucking up here, and you'll retest and it'll probably be back down. Do you have any high estrogen side effects at the moment?
maybe I'm a little bit more sensitive.
Yeah.
Bro, he
What's
explains the answers on the last podcast that he gave. That's
Fuck.
a good way to explain it.
But no, like everything else was I was happy with the rest of it. Like my liver numbers were good, kidney numbers were good, and everything. So on that side of things, everything was good. It was just it was weird how the test number dropped so quickly.
Yeah,
And
that was weird.
estrogen being that high, but other than that, at least they're like something that's manageable.
Yeah.
How's your gym performance at the moment?
Yeah, pretty good. Like I actually said to Rubes last week, I'm like the only thing that I can pick up on being on a lower dose now is like the strength's fine still. It's just I don't last as long through a session.
Yeah.
Like I'll get one or two big lifts in, and then it's like the drop off is straight. So my endurance a little bit, but other than that, performance in the gym's been pretty good. But I've also undefeated, or Mike's gym is just we're pretty much opening soft launch on Wednesday. So I'm like training in a new gym and there's all new equipment again. So it's like sort of a deload thing at the same time. So it's not like I'm pushing everything just because I'm on so many new fucking toys at the moment.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
are you gonna cancel all your other gym memberships and just start training there?
Yeah.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah, like it's a 10-minute walk for me. And man, just like I honestly feel like a kid in a fucking candy store at the moment with the amount of shit in there. And it's going to get to the point in there where I don't know where the fuck we're fitting shit because he's ordered that much fucking equipment.
Really? What is he still waiting
on? He's waiting on the rest of the new tech equipment to come. So I think there's like between 10 to 20 pieces of new tech.
Yeah.
Then he's got another 10 pieces of prime still to come. And there's like 2 or 3 Rogers pieces.
Yeah.
And we just got in last week. We got in the glute builder line.
Yeah.
You would have seen on my story, I put something up. And that shit's fucking wild.
Really?
Wait, what's the brand of the glute builder stuff?
It's called Glute Builder, but it's made by Precor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like some of this equipment, like one of them's a pendulum kickback.
Yeah.
So it completely takes your quad out of the movement.
Interesting.
Then there's like a half Smith machine hip thrust, where like the bar's still able to move back and forth, but it's on a Smith machine.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and some of the shit is just wild.
How big is this?
It's a decent size. So we've got an entire level. Like we've got the first level in this building. But it's gonna be fucking jam-packed with equipment. Like I seriously don't know how the fuck he's fitting it all in there.
What's your favorite piece so far?
What have I used? I've trained legs in there twice so far. I used the pendulum squat by Atlantis today. That was really fucking smooth. Honestly, the new tech shit is so comfortable.
Yeah.
So comfortable. Like that lying leg curl I used on Friday, it just for a plate loaded, like I don't know about you guys, but usually when I use a plate loaded like curl or leg extension, there's some point in the movement where it feels like it drops off.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Because the new tech stuff has like this cam in there,
it's
so smooth. And it pulls from the middle instead of the side. You know, with like a hammer strength one, it usually pulls from the side that's next to the weight stack.
Yeah.
Where this one, the cable pulls from the middle.
So it feels a little bit more even.
Yeah.
How much, how many plates, how much weight would you put on that type of exercise?
Honestly, I had a plate and a half.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm lazy with the fucking accessories by the time, you just want to put a pin in.
Yeah.
Fucking walk backwards and forwards for 3 or 20 kilo plates.
Yeah. And then I used the new tech shoulder press, the plate loaded one. And that was just so good because everything is so adjustable on them. Like the handles are adjustable. The starting point of the handles is adjustable too. so you can start how high or how low you want it.
Yeah.
And again, that was just they're just done so well. It's like taking all the hammer strength shit to the next level.
Yeah.
But
That was one like snobby thing I noticed in Thailand. Like some of the pieces of equipment over there, I was like, these are just not like
good.
ergonomically fucking
Yeah.
created properly. Like,
Yeah.
and like so many, like, and I'm not a small person. I'd like to think I'm bigger than average. I'd go in and hit a chest press, and my hands would start out here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I can't even get any stretch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Literally every single pin loaded exercise in this gym, I could pretty much max out.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? Like,
Did you use the one gym the whole time or travel around a little bit?
oh, we traveled around. I went to an Anytime over there. The Anytime I went to was like the dumbbells went up to like 35 kilos. I was like, fuck. Because there are some cool gyms that have like a bit more of like a bodybuilding culture, but that's one thing I didn't like about Thailand is just like traveling around is fucking really inconvenient, especially down in Phuket.
Yeah.
Everything's like 45 minutes away.
Yeah.
Um, but I trained 6 times out of 9 days, so it was still like, yeah, all guns blazing. Came back and I'm really fucking strong. So I must have been doing something right over there because like all the lifts that I was hitting 2 weeks ago in Perth have gone up like at least 5%. So
You must have needed the rest a little bit as well.
yeah, mate, I'm fucking screaming at the moment. It's good.
That's good.
Bro,
But
I
he's just
swear to
on your
God.
push as well, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm like 5 or 6 weeks in, so everything's really like kicking up now.
That's good.
Appetite's like really good, conditions like fucking amazing considering I'm like 101 to 102 at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I posted up that reel yesterday. That was post chest and arms, so that's why my arms actually look
No,
good.
you didn't specify that, mate.
Yeah, you probably thought that was fast.
Catfish everyone. Catfish everyone.
Dean was like, "Whatever you just trained needs to be your backstage pump up."
Yeah.
But yeah,
Legit.
What the fuck is everyone joining Stefan for? I'm
Oh,
over it. I've had
that's
enough.
crazy. It's because
Blessing,
AJ
mate.
was, pardon?
Blessing was the newest one.
And Sergio.
Oh fuck!
Crazy.
Because
How many is that now? That's like mine, Sergio, Blessing.
He could have a full Olympia lineup.
Yeah, he'll probably have Brett. Maybe I don't know. That might turn Brett off now, actually.
Yeah. Yeah,
But it's got to be on Stefan at some point. Like I understand, like money's money at the end of the day, but at some point you've kind of got to be like, this isn't a good idea.
yeah. Well, I'm sure Mike would be fine with me telling me. I think he put it in his last video when I was with him, last YouTube.
Yeah.
He's not working with Stefan anymore.
Yeah.
Just because Mike's someone who likes a lot of like attention to detail.
Yeah.
Like his last coach was Dean.
Yeah.
And the level of detail that he was getting from someone like Stefan was nowhere near the same.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's like, there's not a dig on Stefan. I think like our top coaches in Australia, like our top coaches, are very attention to detail driven.
Yeah.
Like there's no questions. Like I'm sure you're the same with your coaches on your check-ins, but there really isn't need for like much of a conversation or a question.
Yeah. Rarely, obviously, if I need to ask a question, then
Yeah, if I need to ask a question, I'll ask a question. But most things are pretty straightforward because they provide all the details
yeah.
beforehand. But like Mike had shown me some stuff, and like it was very, very basic.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, so for people thinking that like there's some sort of magic answer that these coaches have, it's not in the programming.
No.
It's not.
I mean, well, I don't want to sound like a dick by saying this, but was that ever like? I'm not surprised.
No.
I don't think it. But I think even Mike probably knew that there was just no way he was going to go to Stefan expecting the same level of a detail. But there is this misconception, I think, that like there's some kind of secret fucking weapon that these guru coaches
You know,
have.
I think it's like it's a level of intrigue. Like
Yeah.
you see them getting all these results, and you're like, okay, what are they doing that I'm not doing now, or that my
Yeah.
coach isn't telling me to do? And then you get there, and it's the same, or it's less than what you're doing now.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, because obviously it works for some people. Like if some people are going to switch over and it makes a positive impact, and like
Yeah,
that's just the case for a lot of people. Whether the actual check-ins or not are going to be like someone like Dean's or like which is like obviously there's a lot of spreadsheets. It's very like down to the T on everything. Like I've seen Dean's check-ins through Tom. Um, like obviously I don't think it's going to be like that. I think it's just more so that Stefan is just good at his job. Things
yeah.
are very, very basic, and that's just the way it is. You know
Look,
what I mean?
Mike did say that when he was with him in person in Prague,
Yeah,
it was very different, and you could see his level of detail and attentiveness in person.
yeah,
Even Mike was like down to his posing cues when he'd look over Mike's poses and everything. He's like
yeah,
the tips that I got and the cues that he gave were wild, were crazy.
yeah,
It's like leading, like especially in an off season now for Mike. He's like, I don't think I'm going to get the or what I'd need from it.
yeah.
Which again is interesting, and even more so to the point where like him working with so many guys now. What are these guys getting?
Well, I feel like let's just say Stefan has 100 clients as an example. From those 100, like how many do you think he's got competing at an Olympia? Like 20,
Well, I think
maybe?
he had what 17 this Olympia.
So yeah, so let's say 20. So let's say he puts fucking 50% of his energy into those 20 clients, but then he's only got another 50% spread out over the remaining 80% of clientele. Like there's no
Yeah,
way that the
Yeah,
remaining 80% is going to get that level of detail. And I think that's kind of fair enough, which is why you shouldn't be surprised if you're going to
yeah,
like one of these guru coaches.
yeah,
It sounds disrespectful because he's obviously very fucking good at what he does. And there's a
yeah,
reason why everyone's going to him. But yeah, I always think as well, like high level amateurs or like new pros, there's like a bit of a stepping stone that's required when it comes to like picking a coach
yeah,
and moving the way up. But like I feel like there's a lot of amateurs going straight for like the guru coach, thinking that there is something different and there is something special, which there may be. Mike obviously took a lot out of that experience, but it's like,
yeah.
yeah, I'm not getting enough, and end up going back to someone who he knows will give him what he needs. Or just maybe he'll just do his own off season. I don't know what he's planning on doing because he's obviously got enough knowledge and, tools
I
under
think I
his
think
belt.
Mike's someone that likes someone holding him accountable,
yeah,
just giving him that guidance. Because I think Mike falls into the hole of like over analysis.
yeah,
Am I doing enough? Can I do more? You know, and he'll always do more than he needs to.
yeah,
Like I was saying to him the other day, he's probably at a point where for his physique to take another step forward, he needs to take a step back.
yeah.
Which for him to tell himself to do that, he's not going to do it.
No,
That's
So
funny because I remember Dean speaking about this was years ago when he was speaking about some of his clients that are like that. And he spoke about Mike in particular. Mike's just someone who it's almost like you need to tell him to train less hard. It's
yeah,
like, or do less volume. And he's like, oh, I want to do more. I always want to do more, which should be
yeah,
pretty common, I suppose, in bodybuilders.
yeah.
You're
yeah,
the
Like
same, Jordy. You're exactly the same, aren't you?
not to the extent that Mike is.
Yeah.
Like I could set myself something and be like, okay, that's what I'm sticking to. But like when I first started with Mike, he was prepping and he was putting me through my first prep, and he was coached by Dean at the time. And this was at a time where not that he doesn't listen to what Dean says, but he was at a point where he was like very, very regimented to the T of whatever Dean was saying. You know what
yeah,
I mean? But I remember training and we'd finish. So I was just doing whatever program Dean had set for Mike. And we'd finish whatever program it was. And I'd be like on the floor dead from the volume that Dean had set Mike. And because it was the escalations. So like
Yeah.
we build up over 6 weeks. So by that 6 weeks, I was fucked. And then I'll see Mike like walk off quietly to the dumbbell rack and do an fucking extra 3 exercises for arms, or
Yeah.
over in the corner doing another chest press. I'm like, bro, we're finished. He's like, yeah, but Dean won't find out. It's all good.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro.
Yeah.
So
Don't do that, guys.
Usually results in worse.
yeah,
Well,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, Dean, his philosophy is trying to get the most from the least until that's no longer enough, and then you do a bit more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been there before because like obviously Dean's doing my training. It's like, oh, I could probably do a bit more tricep here, you know. But that's where like in my check-in, I'll be like, all right, man, I'm getting through this session pretty well. Like I'm in and out of the gym in about, an hour. I could definitely throw in a bit more arms here. What do you think? And majority of the time, he'll usually make that exception. So
yeah.
Yeah.
What about you,
No.
Joshy? How you feeling coming back?
Bro, it's fucking rocked me. Last weekend, Maya got like really sick from like food poisoning, and wasn't really sure what it was. Like she had like some Woolworths extra lean beef, like just like probably like an hour or two before she started feeling
Wait,
unwell.
sorry to cut you off. Was it Woolworths or was it Coles?
It was Woolworths for Maya.
Okay, continue.
And then she like started just getting like really bad stomach pains, and then eventually obviously ended up like having proper food poisoning and was pretty rough for like the better part of like 24 to 30 like 30 hours or so. It was a bit over a day and a half or whatever. And then she obviously came good across the week. She was good by Monday, Tuesday. And then on Thursday, I like ate my pre-workout meal, went to the gym, had an intra, and then came home. I didn't like have long before we needed to go to Maya's dad's house. And I had like half an hour. I was like, fuck, like I need to eat a lot of food. So I just had like, I think it was like 300 grams of cooked rice and like it was 160 grams of raw, like weight beef, like extra lean beef. But this time it was from Coles. And I was like, I ate it. And then afterwards, I just felt like, when you feel really full, obviously, when you're in the fucking off season anyway, like you eat a meal and you're stuffed, your stomach feels full. But it was like, it just felt like really distended. And I was like, like, I just don't feel good. Like, it got to the point where, like, this was in the space of like half an hour. Like, I ate it in 15 minutes, whatever, and then got ready. And I said to me, I was like, I don't reckon I can come. Hey, like, I don't feel that well. And then I was like, oh, like fuck it, I'll just come. Like I don't want to be that guy. Like I'll get on with it. Like I'm sure I'll be fine. I'm just full or whatever. And on the drive, I was like, I couldn't speak to Maya because I just had to focus. I was like, I just don't feel good. Like it was like a 40-minute drive. And then I parked the car at Maya's dad and I was like, sort Daisy out and get her inside. I like ran to the bushes, like across the park at his house. And I just fucking like vomited everything out. I was sat there for ages. And then I finished off, went for a walk, and I was like, oh, I feel a little bit better. Maybe I just ate too much too fast or whatever, you know? And then I went back inside and I was like, just feeling a bit rough. So I laid down for a bit. And then I just like, I got up and like I was in Maya's room with Maya and her brother chatting. And I just like got up and again, like ran outside and just fucking like went again. And I was like, this is not good.
What
And
the
they
fuck?
went out. Yeah, they went out for dinner and I just drove home because I was like, I just want to get home. I just went to bed and like the day and a half, I was like in and out of like consciousness. I was just in bed all day. Like I was like, I couldn't fucking eat. So I don't know. Yeah.
And how many days did it fuck you up for? Just like two, was it?
Like a Thursday night and whole of Friday was really bad. Saturday was okay. I didn't eat all my food. I maybe ate like 2,500 calories. I just didn't have an appetite. And then yesterday I got in all my food. And then today I'm 100%.
Yeah. Fucking hell, that's brutal.
Have you
So
had beef
annoying.
meat since?
No, fuck no. I've been having chicken, which even then I haven't been eating chicken since prep. So I've just been eating chicken now. So that's fine.
I thought about getting like a meat grinder and just doing like what Tony does because he does this with all his beef. He just buys like I think it's like topside beef or whatever like the lean cheap cut of beef is, and then just grinds it up so it's like less than 5% fat. Because
Yeah.
beef mince at the grocery stores are fucking shit.
Yeah,
That's why I use kangaroo mints, actually. That's another thing I'll use.
well, I usually have kangaroo as well, but I've been having beef the last few months, and it's just fucked me. So we've gone back to I'm having kangaroo tonight, and I've just been having chicken as well, just because it fucks me. Yeah, I missed Friday and Saturday training. I went in yesterday, and I just needed to move. Like I was like, I'll redo legs, but I couldn't get through a set of hack squats, so I just did fucking some hamstrings and some like light quad movements. And I trained 100% today. Like, and
Did
it
you
was fine.
did you feel a shark coming on at the bottom of a hack squat?
No, I was like, this is just not good. Like, I do not feel good at all.
I had a bit of a shark moment in Thailand from all the fucking chili. Because
Bro,
I didn't get like food poisoning, but bro, the food in fucking Thailand is spicy as fuck.
well, it
I
depends
do it.
if you get spicy food, then yeah, it's got to be spicy.
It was fucking next level. The shits were spicy and they were a little bit softer than I would have liked. So yeah, had a couple of
How
moments.
soft are we talking?
Like I had to be careful because if I went for a little fart, a little bit of liquid would come out, you know.
Ah, yeah, that's fucking soft.
That's good.
And then you know when you go to the toilet, you're like, oh fuck. Very lucky
Like
I
the
didn't let
benefit
that
of
one
that
out.
is it's like a one wipe job,
Oh, how good's that?
you know,
They're peak.
because it comes out pretty clean.
Well, no, because if you're pissing out your ass, it's not more
Yeah,
than
but it's not like it's pissing out your ass. It's not like, you
You're
know.
just talking about a soft one.
yeah.
Slides out.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, over there they have the like the bidets, so you just give it a
Ah,
bit of
life's
work,
easy.
then yeah,
I don't know how I feel about them.
I
Yeah,
love them.
I was a bit how you going with him the first time.
You're a bit like you're kind of on it, and you're like, yeah, it just doesn't feel good.
Some of them are really powerful, so they actually fucking hurt. Like the
They're
water
fun.
stream is so powerful. But I
They
want to get one of
power
those. I just want to get one of those like really fancy, expensive Japanese toilets where the toilet seat opens up automatically and like it fucking heats the seat. Like that's my
Yeah, like the seat warmers and shit.
You
oh,
100% get one in your house as well, hey?
when I upsize in a few years, that's gonna be the dream. Sure.
Do you boys like spicy food? No, do you know, Jordy, you're boring as fuck with food, so that's a no.
Yeah, I mean I do, but yeah,
You
you
do?
guys wouldn't last fucking 10 minutes in Thailand.
Nah.
'Cause
I've been to Thailand, mate, but I like chicken cashew. That's what I like. The
Like-
spiciest food I'll go is like a pad thai.
That's pushing it.
usually if they see that you're white, they will ask you like, "Oh, spicy," and like you're like little spice or like no spice, you know.
Yeah, man. I like to taste my food. Like I've been to places like we have a chicken place here, and I went there like fucking like 2020 or whatever. And they were like making motherfuckers, they had like heat scores on them. It's Drasco's. Have you been to Drasco's, Tom?
I haven't, but yeah, I've heard of it.
But like the hottest thing there, they make people sign a waiver. I'm like,
Why?
Why would you want to do that?
Why?
Like, I just want to enjoy my fucking chicken.
Like,
So when you get Nando's, what level we at?
I get lemon and herb, mate.
I've never been to Nando's.
What the fuck, dude?
God,
To be fair, you don't have very many Nando's in Melbourne.
But like, okay, I haven't had KFC either.
You've never had KFC.
Nah.
What? Interesting.
Yeah.
The other day,
Wild.
on Friday when I was sick, and I must have eaten like a total of like 400, 500 calories. I was like, I want to eat, but I don't know what to eat. And I was like, for whatever reason, I was like in my mind, obviously, if I thought of a food and it made me feel sick in my mind, I was like, I can't eat it. For whatever reason, I have this weird fixation that whenever I have food poisoning and I can't eat, I can only eat KFC.
So did you get it?
Fuck yeah, I went and got 5 tenders. I went and got 5 tenders, and it was elite. And I didn't shit myself after.
Good job.
And that's the only thing I ate, and a soup, and a tomato soup, and that was it.
That's a vibe.
And that's all I ate that day, and I felt fucking terrible.
I just can't believe that Geordie's never had Nando's or KFC. That is
Yeah.
crazy.
So
Nando's is
my dad got food poisoning once when he was younger from chicken,
yeah.
and he never let us get like any chicken takeaway anywhere as kids.
Really?
Like, unless my mum had cooked the chicken,
yeah,
we weren't having chicken.
that's crazy.
Like at a restaurant, anything. Nowhere. There is no fried chicken. There's nothing. So I've just grown up and like because I wasn't allowed to have it, I'm just like, okay.
So when you go out to restaurants and you see chicken on the menu, are you a little bit like deterred from checking?
I don't even look at it.
Really?
Yeah, I won't even consider it.
Ruby must be really disappointed in you.
Unless it's like a chicken parma.
Oh, for God's sake. Chicken parma is fucking disgusting. Change my mind.
What do you mean?
It's gross, bro.
How? How is it gross?
I've got to disagree.
It's crumb. You agree?
I disagree. That chicken parma is great.
Crumb chicken, shitty crumb chicken. It's fucking dog shit with like cold ham and then fucking melted cheese.
Who puts cold ham?
What? Like it seems gross to me.
Have you had one?
I have, and it was fucking gross.
Where?
It was a homemade one.
Oh, it was a homemade one.
Bro,
doesn't count.
Mayor's brother, he loves them. Every time we go out for dinner, and if it's on the menu, he's copping it. Like he's like you, Jordy. He's like he's not a massive food
bloke.
It just looks gross to me. I'm like, I would rather anything.
What's gross about it? It's breadcrumbs. It's fried. It's got ham, and it's got melted cheese.
Yeah, I think it's the amount of cheese that puts me off.
So would you eat like a chicken schnitzel?
Yeah, but that has filling in it.
What?
No, a chicken schnitzel is just exactly what you described.
Oh, I'm thinking of what am I thinking of?
Like a Kiev.
Yeah, fuck. How good are chicken Kievs?
No, no.
That just makes this whole discussion even more baffling.
No, it doesn't, because if you get a garlic sauce filled Kiev, like my mum used to get when I was a kid, that is elite.
Fucking hell, that's crazy. See, a chicken parmigiana is like one of the most like basic foods that people that aren't like massive foodies would love, which I thought you'd be all over because it's pretty simple.
I guarantee you, if you asked anyone outside of Australia what a fucking chicken parmy was, they would not understand.
But I would explain it to them and they'd be like, fuck, that sounds mad.
Yeah, but they'd be like, that's gross. We have better food.
No. That's not the argument here. The argument is whether they'd have it or not. And they would most definitely have it.
No.
If you went to like a pub overseas, I reckon they'd sell palmy.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
I reckon some pom came here for the Ashes, got a chicken parma on the menu, and like, you know what? I'm going to take that back to the pub.
Well, are the Parmigianas like an Italian thing or are they like an Americanized Italian thing? I'm going to Google.
They've got to be an Americanized or Australianized Italian thing.
I reckon it's Australian.
No way Italians came up with that monstrosity.
They're not that creative.
Australians came up with it.
Creative.
All right, it's an American thing.
It's American.
Yeah, so the dish originated in the Italian diaspora in the United States during the early 20th century. Well, actually, someone here has its question on Wikipedia. Is chicken parma Australian or Italian? It has originated from the US, from Italian immigrants.
That's disgusting.
But it's just become a beloved staple in Australian pubs for some reason.
Yeah, for some fucking reason. Who knows?
Because it's fucking elite.
I need to piss, bro. Back.
See, I'm just reading these the questions that you get on Google.
What'd you get?
It's like, is South Australia palmy or palmer? As in, like, in South Australia,
yeah,
do they call it a palmy or a palmer?
What do you call it?
I say palmer because it's, yeah.
There we go.
Well, actually, but if you spell it, it's Parmi, but it sounds like A, like it Parmigiana, you know?
I remember arguing when I was in Europe with like my whole Kentucky tour because they were all from like Queensland and Sydney and they all call it palmy. And I'm like, no, it's not.
I probably have called it palmy before. I don't even know. I had to think about it.
Right.
I think I'd go with Parma, but I don't know.
When was the last time I even had one?
I haven't had one for like a good fucking 5 years. Like it's been a long
Yeah, it's
time.
been a minute.
I might do one at home. I might do like a homemade like lean
Red
chicken
parma. Yeah.
because you could do that. You could crumb it with like egg white and then just do like
Yeah.
panko breadcrumbs and then air fry it.
And then there's that, like, I've been using that Eat Lean cheese at the moment. It's like
Oh
no
yeah.
fat, no carb, and it's just protein.
Josh, keep
It's
an eye
exactly
out.
like cheese.
Jordy and I will collaborate in a lean
Yes.
chicken parma meal. You can fucking follow at home.
I'm not following it, mate. Well, I wait. Do they actually have cheese that's like that? Because we use the lactose. We have the either lactose free one or the light one. The lactose free one helps Maya with her eczema, so we usually get that one. But the Bega one is pretty good as well.
I just use the
I legit just stumbled across this at Woolies a couple of weeks ago.
It kind of tastes. It sounds really processed to me. I'm not really sure how I feel about
It
it.
doesn't have anything like bad in it though. That's what Ruby said, and we looked at the ingredients, and it seemed fine.
Yeah, right.
Wait, is it the same price as the 50% fat Bega cheese?
I think
Or
it's like
bit-
$5 or $7.
How good is that, Ken?
Yeah, because that's the one that I usually get, but I don't know what would taste better.
I mean, this one tastes pretty good. Tastes pretty cheesy,
Yeah.
you know.
I feel like we haven't spoken enough about bodybuilding. What are we? There's
Sorry?
not much to talk about though from a bodybuilding.
I came one today.
Yeah.
Was that today?
Yeah.
Oh, because it was okay.
Yeah.
But who was it up against?
He was up against Marcelo came second. That kid came third. What's his name?
Mia.
Mia, and then Mark Hector came fourth.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a bit disappointing for Mark Hector. I thought
And
He
Andrea
looked-
Presti was in fifth.
Priya Presti was fifth.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark looked good. He just looked a little bit. It's kind of just his back, like, you know what I mean. He was peeled, like he looked really good.
Do you think
He
he's
does have
back
that,
like Akeem's back?
No, I think it's better than the King's back.
You could see I think it's his right side,
It's smaller.
smaller because of his shoulder.
I think I was going to say it's either that or he's torn it or something. Yeah, but
Yeah,
shoulders.
I know he's going in for surgery after this show.
Wow.
Yeah, I did see that. Do we have any photos we can pull up?
I'd pull it up, but I'm not on my laptop. So
Okay.
Yeah. That's all right.
logged in.
I was going to ask something, but I completely forgot.
Good.
I'll try and think of it. Wasn't that?
Do you-
I'm pretty sure it was a food.
I haven't. I actually haven't looked at that show. As you can tell, I didn't even know that there was a show on the weekend. But do you feel like they're just running with this narrative now that Presti's not very good? Because fifth to me sounds a bit wild for Presti.
No, I think it was pretty suited. Like the other guys were much. See, this might be a hot take, but I don't like him with his physique at all.
I don't see what like he's shredded.
But he looks weird. Like he has a weird physique.
I know what you mean.
It is,
Yeah,
it is put together a bit funny.
His arms are really short and they're small. His legs are really big, but it's like his torso is just very odd.
Yeah. It's like he needs another 10 or 15 pounds. It's like he needs to fill out his frame.
Yeah, but even then, it just looks a bit odd.
You know what was weird? The guy who placed fourth at Prague, that Marco, whatever his name
Yeah,
is,
he was eighth.
he was eighth,
Yeah, interesting.
which like set me. I would have, not that I thought he was anything great at Prague, but I thought, well, if they liked him at Prague, maybe he's in a good chance for another, top 5 now.
Yeah.
Wasn't
Tom,
the
this is a good segue to tell us about your new housemate.
Yeah.
Well, what do you want to know? It's a
How is
house.
it?
It's pretty fucking good. It's a lot more spacious.
How many beds?
3x2. So it's pretty good. Like all the bedrooms are upstairs. So there's 2 bathrooms, 2 full bathrooms upstairs, and then downstairs there's just like a toilet and a powder room.
Yeah.
Laundry's obviously.
Is it just the two of you?
Yeah.
Do you like play hide and seek?
We haven't tried that yet. We should try that. It'd be fun. Why does this angle make my head look really fucking big? Let's fix this.
I was hoping the opposite would happen.
What was I going to say? Now I was going to say something.
About your house.
I don't remember. Something not important. No, it's really good because like location wise, it's like fucking 15 from the city, 10, 15 from the city. It's like 20 minutes to Malaga, which is the other area I go to train. It's basically like 20 minutes to everywhere. So it's in a really good
So
spot.
you're in Belmont, hey?
Yeah.
How far off Graham Farmer?
It takes me less than 5 minutes to get onto Graham Farmer.
Are you like, so if you were to, like, if you come out of Doherty's or head towards that Optus Stadium, and I assume you get off at
Great Eastern.
Great Eastern, are you turning left or right?
Heading towards Belmont.
Oh, so it'll be left then. Yeah, that's stupid.
Yeah, left.
Yeah.
It's literally one street back from Great Eastern Highway, so there's no like dodgy crackheads or anything because we're kind of like far away-ish from the shopping center, so it's like a 4-minute drive to the shopping center.
I think I know where you are.
Yeah, it's quite good. The first order of business was just getting a fucking couch sorted, and we bought this couch on Saturday. It's like this secondhand, like refurbished one. It was still fucking expensive. It was like $2,500.
Ooh.
Got it delivered the same day. I was like, yes, so good.
Please.
Yeah, so we got couch set up. Like the entertainment area is like almost done. We just need like a coffee table.
Yeah.
And then apart from that, it's just like unpacking the rest of these boxes because there's still boxes and shit everywhere.
Has your dad just been helping move stuff from like, because obviously you took everything to his house, hey?
Yeah, so we just loaded all the stuff from the apartment onto a trailer, and then when I got home Wednesday night last week, we just attached the trailer and started moving shit in.
Yeah,
that was good. I wound back the clock yesterday and returned back to my old profession, which was cabinet making, and started building some DIY IKEA cabinets.
I forgot you were a fucking cabinet maker.
Oh mate, worst trade in history, that's for sure. I had to move my overhead cupboard up because the fridge was like fucking 10 mil too tall and didn't fit underneath the overhead cupboard, so I couldn't actually open the doors up. So I had to move that up. So I was getting Hannah to like hold it awkwardly and using like a chopping board as a spacer, but that was good. Got that done.
I just don't know about you, Josh, but are you good with tools?
Am I good with tools?
Yeah.
I'm good enough with tools.
What's good enough?
Well, I can get things done.
Yeah.
Usually, like a lot of the jobs, like, because obviously we're sorting out the house at the moment, like a lot of the stuff that we have to do, well, a lot of stuff we have done is like stuff that I kind of need to do with dad. So it's like a 2-person job kind of thing. And dad being dad just fucking leads charge anyway when we're doing shit. So
yeah.
It's just a bit easier. But yeah, like if something needs to get done, it gets done. Like if building or whatever, I don't fucking like it, but I get it done.
Yeah. Like I could put together some IKEA shit, but like if we go past a hammer and a screwdriver, I'm pretty pathetic.
I mean, I'm pretty fit too, considering I'm a trade.
Bro, that was the biggest fucking sneeze I've ever seen.
It's fucked.
Bro, what the fuck happened?
I sneezed. I was just trying to move out the way.
How long were you a cabinet maker for?
4 years. As soon as I finished the apprenticeship, I was like done. I left. So I started doing my personal training certificates like 6 months before I ended up finishing as a cabbie. And then as soon as I'd finished the apprenticeship, I handed my notice in and started working as a personal trainer.
Yeah, no shit.
So that was a long fucking time ago. It's amazing how much shit I've forgotten.
Yeah.
Because you're getting old.
And I'm so lazy. Like if there's something that's wrong in the house or in our apartment previously, it's like I'll just call a contractor to get them to fucking do it. Oh man, I had a go at Harvey Norman the other day because I'd specifically stated I wanted my appliances like installed.
Yeah.
And he was just going to drop it off at the door and get me to unbox it and fucking do everything myself. And I called up Harvey Norman.
Wait. Appliances as in what?
Fridge, washing machine.
All you had to do is plug it in.
Yeah.
And you had to go at this guy.
Did you have to pay extra for installation?
Yeah, it's $20 per item. I don't give a fuck. It's going to take me like, honestly, it's just the time spent unboxing and having to take all the rubbish as well. So he took all the rubbish eventually because he unboxed it all. And I was like,
yeah.
Yeah.
How much shit did you have to buy?
everything I mean, literally everything, like washing
Oh,
machine,
was your last
dishwasher.
place furnished?
Yeah, last place was furnished.
Ah, yeah.
So yeah, I bought pretty much everything. Yeah.
It's fucking expensive, isn't it?
It is, but I love that shit. Like we got a brand new air fryer, like fucking
Oh,
yeah,
vibes.
the Philips, and like fridge is fucking sexy. So
Yeah, that looks like a sexy fridge. Look at them French doors. Mm.
yeah, yeah, it's very good.
I'm so happy.
My meal,
What do you eat?
beef and rice. This is actually my last meal I got from Tony.
Oh, really?
This was like the emergency um, care package because I didn't have time to cook. So Tony did like 10 meals for me, which have yeah just run out today. I was considering getting more from him, but I think I'll just do my own cooking. I actually like cooking.
Well, yeah, you're a good chef.
Yeah.
Um. Anyway, to get onto a better topic, I was talking to a better topic. I was talking to
Yeah, Tom, fuck your house.
want me to get onto a podcast topic. I was talking to somebody the other day about like, and they were kind of like asking about training when, like, when I first started getting into the gym and how it's kind of evolved, which is funny because like I don't really think you think of it at the time. You don't really think of it until you look back on how your training has evolved because you just
Yeah.
do it. You do what you need to do when you're told to, or when you get a coach, or when you don't
Yeah.
have a coach, whatever it is. And it was pretty cool because I was like, well, I think it's a good discussion to bring up on, like, has your training changed? Most of the answer is obviously probably going to be yes, but how has it changed? And do you think that if you train the way that you used to now, not like, and not in terms of like bad form or like, but the same kind of training principle, you would still be seeing progress?
Like when I originally started, the program I was following was just it was very basic.
Yeah.
So would I have made progress? The exercises weren't bad.
Yeah.
I think it was very free weight dominant. So I think I would have made progress or continued to make progress, but it'd just be hard to apply like the things that I know now to that style of training.
Yeah. In what way?
Like I don't know about you guys, but progressively overloading on like free weight movements constantly,
Yeah.
I get buried pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Just that managing managing fatigue with those movements
Yeah.
takes a lot out of me.
Yeah. Especially when you get stronger as well.
Yeah. And a lot of those programs I focused a lot on just the load being moved. And my progression or not taking progression as a rep or the execution or the tempo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was just if the weight didn't go up, then I didn't progress.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. At the
It's
start.
interesting. I was like the opposite.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I used to just so when I first started lifting, and mind you, it took me about 5 years of just training for fun in the gym before I actually followed a proper program. And I think it worked because it was like consistent. Like the training splits were consistent. I was just doing like a bro split for like fucking 4 or 5 years, and there was no training program. It was just like, one day I'll go in and train back. This day I'll start with lat pull downs and then go rows and then pullovers. Another day I might do pullovers first, rows, and then lat pull. It was just like training fucking for fun just about, but I was still training harder over time. And I was obviously progressively overloading, but there was no structure whatsoever. Yeah. And then I went through a phase and I had this mentor who was very much like, you don't need to lift heavy to gain muscle.
Mm.
So it was like all about just like trying to make a weight that I was already lifting feel as hard as it possibly could. Like kind of like the Ben Pakulski style.
Yeah.
Which it obviously worked, but it just meant like there were a lot of movements that barely progressed in years. Like they did progress. You did still increase weight, but there was less emphasis on progressively overloading.
Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, Jordy, I cut you off.
No, I completely forgot what I was saying anyway. So
Oh.
that works. What about you,
Yeah.
Joe?
When I first started training, I think the first time I got into a gym and like started training by myself, I'm pretty sure it was soon after I watched like the first Creed movie, and then I like binge watched all the Rocky movies. So then I like found a bodybuilding.com workout or something, and then like followed that for like ages. And then and then I just started training with people that I went to school with, and then I was pretty much just fucking sumo deadlifting for fucking a year and a half, 2 years, which sucks because I have no fucking adductors at all. I've got decent.
That's exactly what I was going to say before when I forgot. Like,
Yeah.
I was doing so many fucking sumo deadlifts. If I kept training in that way, I would have had the biggest ass going around. It's not funny.
You already do.
It was fucked. I had to stop deadlifting because my glutes were too big.
Yeah, like I mean, I've got decent glutes to show for it, but I have no adductors, which is pretty disappointing. So I just did that for ages. But then I don't really know when I like learned to. I think when I first got my coach, I first got a coach was when I started like training properly more or so, like whatever is deemed properly. Do you know what I mean? And started like tracking things a lot more and making sure that I was improving, but then it was still like limited to an extent, like Jordy said, where it was if I didn't go up in weight, I felt like I didn't really progress, you know. But even then, honestly, like it's just even though obviously I've known this for the last few years, for me, like mentally, like having this off season, especially, like being like it's okay, like to finish and like get all like 3 sets or whatever to the top of a rep range before I can put weight up. You know what I mean? Like it's all right to do that if I need to. Like sometimes I don't need to, and sometimes I obviously strength picks up a lot faster. But like if strength is a little bit slower on a movement, like not to kind of like get the hump with it and just get pissed off of it. Just like actually be able to like just rinse the whole rep range out and then kind of put weight up a little bit slowly. You know, like even adding a rep here or there, like is still okay.
Yeah.
But that's more like security thing. That's not the lack of knowing. That's just like I would tell my clients to do the exact same thing. But you know, as we all do, like we can tell our clients one thing, but then when it comes to ourselves, it's hard to take our own advice sometimes.
Yeah.
Did you guys have training buddies like from the first moment that you guys kind of started going to the gym? Like, did you have a training buddy that you would go with, or have you always just done your own thing?
Yeah, I always went by myself.
I had my best mate at the time was the guy who got me into the gym. So we trained together, but we were just very bro.
Yeah.
Which part of me misses.
Yeah.
Like I missed how simple it was. It's like we'd go in for a leg day and it's like, okay, what can we do today that's going to fuck us up the most?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or you just sit and watch some fucking YouTube, some bodybuilder training, and you're like, yep, that's what we're training today. We're doing that session.
Yeah.
And then you'd go in and do it, and you're like, that was the best session of my life.
Yeah.
And you'll go in the next week and do another session.
Yeah. It's just like
some other bodybuilder.
The simpleness of it, you know?
Yeah. Just the simplicity.
Yeah.
I definitely subscribe to the idea that you have to shock the muscle and do something different.
I was probably doing the same thing.
Yeah, I was like, because it does get you more sore because there's a fresh stimulus every fucking week.
Yeah.
So, and I was like, whatever I do, I need to be sore, you know?
But like, let's without it being shocking the muscle, right? Because we know that the muscle, like, it doesn't understand load.
Yeah.
It understands stress.
Yeah.
So if taking that, why do we need to stick to a set like training block?
See, this is
why can't we go in and just be like, you know what? I'm going to do a press, a fly.
See, this is where I was going to go, because when we trained together what was it? What month was it? September?
Yeah. After nationals.
Yeah, after nationals. And you told me that you only track progression on your first lift.
Yeah, on my biggest lift.
And then the rest you just go in and just like be as strong as you
Like
can.
there's structure to my session. Like most of the time, my sessions are the same. They don't change. Like, but at the start of a block, I'll pick my 6, 7, 8 lifts within that block that I'm really focusing on progressing.
Yeah.
And then the movements around those specific lifts, my intensity into those lifts doesn't change.
Yeah.
Let's say, all right, my chest day, I start with a fly. If I go in, most of the time it's a pec deck fly.
Yeah.
But if I go in and I'm like, you know what, today I feel like doing a seated cable fly. To me, I don't see the difference.
Yeah.
I just feel like I might feel a little bit better from this little bit of a change up.
Yeah.
Movement patterns the same.
But hang on, let me play devil's advocate. When you say the intensity is the same, that's pretty subjective though, because you might
100%.
think it feels the same, but it might not actually be the same.
Yeah. I generally with those movements, I'm not too worried about those movements. The best way to put it is they're like my bro time.
Yeah.
Like I just want a pump.
Yeah.
I want to drive as much blood into the muscle as I can. And I've got 2 sets or 3 sets to do it.
Yeah.
I'm not too worried about, like, I don't see the point in me trying to progress a dumbbell side raise.
Yeah.
How heavy am I going to dumbbell side raise?
Yeah, I get that.
How heavy am I going to cable side raise? Like,
I agree. I get that for sure.
To me, the exercises that I don't need to worry about taking a strength progression on.
Yeah, it's just more like refining execution each week.
Yeah. What was your question?
I was just saying, like, I was just like bringing up that where it just
because
I mentally I'm not at a point where I probably struggle a little bit more to do that. If I do that, I have to just do a completely different session.
Yeah.
You know, if I'm like, oh, I would just rather I would just rather do a completely different session. Do you know what I mean?
Like mentally going into it, like I know the weight that I'm lifting and I know the rep range that I want to be.
Yeah.
So if I'm below that, then I'm like, something's gone on here.
Yeah.
Why aren't I there?
Yeah.
But hang on. But would you say, Jordy, that is optimal?
Is that optimal for max muscle progression?
For the vast majority of population, is it optimal?
I wouldn't say it's not optimal. You know what I mean? Simply because the big factor in it is the enjoyment side of it.
Yeah.
Like again, the reason I've gone to just tracking 1 or 2 lifts is because I got so much logbook fatigue.
Yeah.
Like I was so logbook driven for a period where it was mentally taxing.
Yeah.
Like if I didn't get a progression by a rep by the smallest amount of weight on most of my lifts within the day, then that started to build up on me over time to the point where I wasn't looking forward to training.
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, that's not optimal because there's so much stress on me progressing.
I hear that, but I agree with you in a sense that like training morale is arguably the most important factor. Like if you don't enjoy it, you're not going to progress. But like the way that I kind of look at it, like if you're in a phase where you should be growing, so you're in the off season, you should be putting yourself in an environment that's conducive to gaining muscle, which means you should be getting stronger every week.
Yeah.
100%.
And the only reason why that might not be possible is if you're kind of sending it too early. So like, let's say you start a new training block, you got a new program, and you just go balls to the wall and train to failure on everything. And then you can progress for like maybe 3 or 4 weeks, and then you hit a bit of a brick wall, and that's kind of your fault for going too hard too soon.
That's probably a lot of the reason why I'm not the best at pacing things
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I probably did take those progressions too quickly. Like if I knew I could do it, I'd just go and do it.
Yeah.
But again, I just got to the point with the logbook where I was just too fixated on the progression. Like 5 out of 5 lifts had to
Yeah.
have progression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again, for that period of time, most of it I enjoyed it. I enjoyed going in and knowing, okay, this is exactly what I did. I'd have the notes written out and everything. But like I said, I just got to the point where it just wasn't doing it for me anymore.
Yeah.
You know
At
what I
what point was that during a prep by any chance, or was that just like in an off season sometime?
in an off season.
Yeah.
In an off season. So again, it was probably at a point where I took progressions too quickly. But like then I'll have the argument in my head with this whole thing because like I completely understand the point where you're coming from. Like we should be in a state where we are progressing and we should be, taking those, logging what we are doing down so we can make sure that we are, continuously progressing. But I'm like, and it's a bro argument, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Like, what did the guys do in the early 2000s?
Yeah.
What have they done for the last 20 years before log booking became what it is now?
Yeah. For sure.
You know what I mean? We'll use Fuad and Ian and all the rest of them. I can't see them sitting down and writing, okay, this was 2 reps in reserve this week. Next week, I know I'll have 1 rep in reserve, and then
I struggle with that rep and reserve stuff. This is the same with like, and it's a skill like Tom with your training that you have with Dean. Obviously, like certain weeks are like certain reps in reserve, and I like look at that and I'm like, I do not know.
Yeah, I struggle with it.
Like I don't know how. Like I can measure reps in reserve, obviously, but like each week to have like a certain like target to hit that's like not failure, I would struggle with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for me, I used to be like that. I was like, when I first started coaching with Dean, I was like, fuck, is this reps in reserve bullshit,
Yeah.
And then it became very, very enjoyable because I could see it working. And that's not to say that other ways of training don't work, because it all works, like you said, like all the old school bodybuilders, etc. But it works and it's sustainable because you're not training to failure for every single week. So like the typical progression model would be like you get a new program and it's like week 1 might be 3 reps in reserve. Week 2 is 2, week 3 is 1, week 4 is 0, and then week 5 and so on might be 0 with added volume or 0 with rest pause sets or whatever.
Yeah.
And typically, if you do that properly, you get a good 6 to 8 weeks of continuous progression, one way or another. And then you have to deload, which is another thing that a lot of people don't like to do because they feel like they've just wasted a week. But my counter argument to that is, well, if you go forward again another 8 to 10 weeks, which scenario is going to yield you more progression in the gym? The week where you keep going?
So again, this is where I completely agree with everything you said. And I fully understand the deload. But then I have the devil on my shoulder that's like, these guys didn't take a fucking deload.
But they did. I've seen a lot of them taking weeks off. They wouldn't take a deload, but they'd take weeks off.
My thing to
But how frequently were they doing that? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Every week they're changing the order of their exercises, which is a semi-deload.
Yes.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
I said that at the start of the session. Like I feel like I'm in a deload now because I'm playing with new equipment.
Yeah, and you're still probably hitting failure on things.
Yeah. But I wouldn't say that I train to failure. Because for example, Josh, when we trained together, that one session.
Yeah.
For a load that I would normally do for a set of 10 to 15, we start yelling at each other and we're doing sets of 18, 19,
20 to 20.
20. We were doing reps that we wouldn't normally do.
Yeah,
So
And
basically, you can't train hard enough by yourself.
yeah.
He's like,
motherfucker.
To
he's like,
be
fuck.
fair, in my iPhone, I don't normally use them machines.
Uh,
I didn't know. I didn't know what my
my
strength was.
argument, I was 1 day post show.
There you go.
But like I'd say I'm more of a like 2 reps to failure. Like I'll take it to mechanical failure,
Yeah.
which if I had someone that's yelling down my throat to get an extra 2 or 3 reps, I probably could, but then at what reward?
But yeah, and I think that's the misconception that not necessarily you, but a lot of people have with reps in reserve. They think it's easy.
Yeah.
It's like if a set is true failure, and let's say you go 3 reps in reserve from that true failure point,
Yeah, it's
actually fucking pretty hard, to be
Yeah,
fair.
that's failure for most people, yeah.
Yeah, like it's you take it to the point in the set where it starts to get really fucking hard. That's kind of like 3 reps in reserve, where maybe that 3rd rep, the speed either is about to slow down or maybe even did slow down just a little bit on the concentric. And then, all right, cool. Like I probably had 3, maybe I had 2, maybe I had 4, but like I think I probably got 3. Like it's pretty accurate. And like to get to that point where factually that's correct, like it does take a long time. It takes like over a year, in my opinion, to really understand like the reps in reserve system. And it works for some, it doesn't work for everyone. Like I've got clients that do exactly what you have just explained, Jordy, where we'll use reps in reserve and we'll progress pretty heavily on like maybe the first 2 or 3 exercises, and then some of the accessories like the laterals and the leg extensions and stuff, they get logbook fatigue. So I'll just be like, all right, cool, don't worry about tracking it, like just do your thing. Because at the end of the day, like if you don't want to go to the gym because you're too fucking exhausted thinking about logging numbers, then it's not worth it at that point. So that's where you have to be a bit flexible as a coach. But
there's got to be a happy medium,
Yeah.
It also just depends what works for you. And again, it's like enjoyment of it. It's like my program at the moment is I've 3 sets on pretty much everything. And the first 2 are like 2-3 reps in reserve, which again, I guess I am doing the reps in reserve stuff, but like, and then the last set is failure. Do you know what I mean? Which I enjoy. I think it's good. I think it's fun, and I get the most out of it then.
Yeah.
Wait, so say that again, Josh. Do you say you were doing 2 like feeder sets, or are they still working sets?
They're still working sets, but they're like 2 to 3 reps in reserve.
Okay.
And then like 1 set to all out failure.
Yeah. So on that last set, you might actually get more reps than on the first 2 sets.
Yeah, or at least like if execution's really good, or I'm maybe a little bit more conscious on that last set of making sure I'm getting the most out of that set and squeezing everything, which obviously I should be doing on everything, but you get a little bit loose with it sometimes. Then maybe I'll match reps or get 1 above,
See, that takes a lot of like nous as well to know that if you're doing it and you're doing it that way correctly, like that 3rd set probably should get more reps, or at least maybe 1 more rep than the first 2 sets.
Yeah.
Because you've already accumulated some fatigue in those first 2.
For sure.
Yeah.
So at what point or how long before you change an exercise out of program?
When you can't progress it anymore.
Okay.
I would, and also just when you get bored of the movement.
But also, I say when you can't progress in it anymore, but let's say you do a hack squat, for example, because this is something I get sick of really quickly, for like a 6 to 8 rep range for 10 weeks and you hit a wall on the 10th week or whatever. I feel like switching to a different rep range can help as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you're keeping the same movement in the same pattern, but pulling back on weight inevitably because you're having to change rep ranges, I think can help a lot as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do like a little deload.
Yeah, but I mean, like, do another stint, like if you did 12 to 15 fucking reps for 10 weeks, you know what I mean?
Fuck you and your scientific words. I'm doing bullshit. Okay.
This is all in the context of like an off season, because obviously if you're in like fucking inside that 12 weeks out point, you're probably not progressing on many exercises.
Actually, that's a good segue because I was going to ask this. At what point do you think you should stop progressing in a prep?
Well, there's no like shoulds or shouldn't, but like generally, like for me personally, I'll probably stop making progress from like probably like 10 to 12 weeks out because that's
Yeah.
because I
I'm
get
usually
fucking
like
feel
I'm usually like 7 to 8.
I'm at that like 10 to 12 week out. Like my mentality switches to I just need to like hold this,
Yeah.
like where I'm at now. That
So
load and these reps need to just stay there.
I'm kind of like 7 to 8 weeks out, and that's not progressing on everything, but
Yeah.
I'm probably still more, at least obviously the last prep, I was probably more in a state of like Scotty would be like, you don't need to progress anymore. Like just fucking like try and hold where you're at. But like mentally, I'd be like, well, if I'm not progressing, then I'm not progressing. Do you know what I mean?
I remember having conversations with you about that, and you're like, because in prep, your head's a bit fucked, and you think that if you go backwards in numbers in the gym, you're going to get smaller. And it's like, it's pretty hard for us to lose tissue
Yeah.
unless you're training like an absolute pussy.
Yeah.
I
Um,
almost get to the point where I just don't track. And like, especially the
oh,
last from like 8 weeks out, I'm not tracking anything and I'm just training on pure feeling. And I'll even go to the point of swapping certain movements out and more from a risk management standpoint. Like I won't dumbbell press.
Yeah.
I'll
I'm the same.
stick
Yeah.
to a Smith machine. I'll stick to a machine and I won't do them. So then my progressions are out the window anyway.
Yeah.
Because
yeah, I think at that
Yeah.
point, you simply just have to do what the mind wants
yeah,
because I already hate training enough as it is by the end of prep.
I was the
If
same.
I'm going in there, yeah, if I'm going in there with a logbook,
Yeah,
which for 90% of my training is like, utilized so I can make progressions,
yeah,
I'm quite comfortable to kind of detach from the logbook. I'll still have the training program. I'll probably still log my numbers, but
yeah,
I'll just have this sense of acceptance, which it's like, all right, Tom, like just don't fucking worry about progressing anymore because it's just not going to happen. So don't get upset. And
yeah.
when that happens, and I think I said that to you, Josh, at some point during my prep, and I was like, last week I got 8 reps on this fucking machine, and this week I got 5. Like I think this is it. Like my
Yeah.
strength is fucked.
Yeah.
And that was, I don't know, that was probably like 10, 11 weeks out or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's usually a point that I'm the same where I hit. But for me, it's also like last prep, I probably went a little bit too far, and it just got to the point where it didn't take mentally until my joints started hurting that I was like, I should probably be a little bit more careful now, especially with like my knees. My knees are always the first to go into prep where they just fucking hurt. You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I need be a little bit more careful now. You know?
Like I consciously pulled back on my leg training from like
Yeah.
no word of a lie, 4 weeks out.
Yeah, I'm probably about the same.
Just like I really fucking pulled back load and was like, I just need to get like some sort of a pump.
Yeah.
But like a lot of my reasoning at the time wasn't as sound as what it is now.
Yeah.
My reasoning at the time was my inflammation would get so bad after a leg day that my weight would spike 2 kilos overnight. And that
then it hurts when you don't cardio as well.
yeah, and like the mental head fuck of seeing the scales jump when my food was so low and my output was so high would send me into a spiral for a week.
What's the lowest your food's been on a prep?
I'm not that bad. Last prep, I think we didn't even go under 2,000.
Yeah, what do you
a deplete week?
Lowest was probably like, this was not last prep, but maybe the one before that, probably like 1,800, 2,000. But
Yeah,
then
same.
there was still like a semi-consistent refeed. So it'd probably average out to be like 2,000. But when I did the 2020 prep, that was when I was like, I was probably like 79 kilo, 80 kilo. So I was a bit lighter. That was fucking brutal. That was that was low food and like very little refeeds. And that was the prep where I like fucking binged and like legit binged and cheated on my diet. And I was still like fucking peeled. I was a little bit over dieted, but yeah, I know that moving forward, I probably don't need to go below like 2,000.
Yeah.
Mine was 1,700.
See, that'll be interesting for you moving forward. Like, it doesn't always work like this, but like, the more muscle you've got theoretically, you may not need to lower the food as much, but doesn't always work like that.
I prefer less food to more cardio anyway. I think last prep, the most cardio I ended up doing was like for like 2 weeks, it was like 6 30-minute sessions on the bike week.
Really?
Yeah, it wasn't really that much. And then it was like 15,000 steps.
Wow.
I just hate doing cardio. So I'd always prefer less food.
I mean, I hate doing cardio, but I feel lost without it.
See, I get what you mean, but I'm kind of like, oh, steps replaces that for me. Because I'm like, and also in my mind as well, I feel like I can perform better with lower food and lower cardio rather than higher food and higher cardio.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can mentally push through training still for quite a long time with lower food. And like my carbs on last prep got down to like, I think it was like 90 grams. So it was like I would have like 50 before training and like fucking 40 afterwards. But like that would be my carbs for the day. So then I felt like it still fueled me to an extent.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I fucking hate steps.
I don't mind it because me and May would just go for a walk in the morning.
Yeah, like the morning walk is fine, but it just, fuck, I hate them.
By the afternoon, they get a little bit tiring. I've still got a bit to go.
Like, I'd honestly try, I'd have my steps done by 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
I'd walk laps around the gym. I'd walk all morning. So that way, by the time I'd finish training, I had nothing to do but sit on the couch.
And then you get bored.
1,000%. But I'm so tired that I don't want to like walk anyway.
Last prep Mayo was doing FIFO, so every second week was just dreadful. It was so boring. It's so fucking boring because even like her like being here, even if at the time I just didn't, you both know it's like if we're like speaking, like even her presence would like make it less boring somehow. But then when she's here, it's just fucking dreadful. Like even like I'd finished all my work for the day, it would be like, I'd still obviously have bits and pieces to do, but it'd be like 5, 6, 7 o'clock. I wouldn't go to bed until like 9:30, and I'd be like, you're obviously at deep in prep. You can't fucking watch anything because you have no fucking attention span.
Nothing.
Couldn't play video games. I just would scroll on my phone. I was like, this is fucked.
Yeah.
Jordy, how high did your steps get? Like at the
15.
highest? Yeah.
15. I haven't gone past 15, but I was doing 30 minutes incline tread every morning.
That's all you were doing.
Yeah, 7 days a week.
Wait, so the 30 minutes incline treadmill, that was your cardio, right?
Yeah.
So
you add that, would you include the steps from that to your daily step count?
No. And to be fair, I wasn't doing the intensity that Mike had set either. I was doing a lot more.
I just did a mission here. Oh, it's a little more. I thought you were going to say it was less.
Nah, I was like I want to feel like I'm working.
Yeah.
So it was the highest intensity and as fast as I could go before I was jogging.
Really?
Yeah. So like my cardio was a fucking mission.
Yeah.
Like,
I would often recruit Tom to do cardio with me because it made it go faster.
Yeah.
I would get Tom to do cardio with me so that it would go quick.
Well, I couldn't sleep. Like I couldn't sleep past my body clock, and my body clock would wake up at 4. So I'd go walk the dog and I'd be done my cardio by 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So no one wants to do cardio with me at 5 in the morning.
Yeah. Sometimes because Tom would live close to Doherty's at the time, I'd go do cardio at Doherty's and I'd be like, hey, Tom, you want to come do cardio with me? So he'd just walk down to the gym.
Hey, but just while we're on the steps, right? Because I remember like Fuad and the guys talking about it. They don't track this. They never track their steps. It's a foreign concept to them.
Yeah.
And they'd speak about the cardio that they'd be doing.
Yeah.
Which would be like, okay, 2 45-minute sessions.
Yeah.
To me, is still less than us doing a cardio session in 15,000 steps.
I agree.
Way less.
So how do they get that shredded?
But when they talk about how much food they're eating as well, like they're eating like very, very little. So I think they're really not eating much.
Like, okay, so like respectively.
I've heard some of them speak about the food they're eating. Like a lot of them are like no fat and no carb.
Yeah.
Like that's wild. Like you don't really hear amateurs doing that here.
No.
Like no fat at all.
Yeah, like no added fats.
Yeah.
Like you're only getting the fat that you have.
From fish oil, mate. Like, that's
Yeah,
it.
that's it. But like I can understand how being on 3,000 calories is low for someone on that size.
Yeah.
But it's still a good amount of food.
And also, like a lot of the old school bodybuilders would eat like 400 grams of protein. So that in itself is already 1,600 calories. So then you've got 1,600 calories there, and then some trace fats and some trace carbs from like fruits, veg, and like some fats from like meats and whatever. Then you've probably got like 2,000 calories there.
Yeah.
But that's what Scotty was telling me as well. Like in his off season, because obviously he was around the same like era of like early 2000s.
Yeah.
Because I've asked him about this, like, and just like what it was like, and he obviously he never tracked food in the off season, so it was like he'd track protein, and then everything else would be like eat as much as you can. So he would eat 400 grams of protein a day, and then whatever else he could get.
I did that for my first ever bulk, like proper bulk.
400 grams of protein.
When I jumped on, it was just like eat as much as I could, hit my protein target, and then just eat as much as I fucking
Did you
could.
actually?
Yeah.
I
I
wonder
put on
what
like
like
I think I put on like 12 kilos in the first little push.
I'm bored away.
It was terrible.
so you're saying not to do it?
No, don't do that. This is
Man.
why if I could have had my time back, I would have hired a coach like myself to take me through that.
Like last night I had Biscoff cheesecake and it was really nice. And I could eat that every day.
How good is Biscoff cheesecake?
Yeah, it was elite.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just trips me out how like I don't know. I guess it goes back to like how we were talking earlier about like the attention to detail is so different now. But is it?
Yeah, I think there's more. What? I think there's more attention to detail. Yes,
Because yeah, there is, but are guys getting just as shredded as guys 10 years ago when they would provide like doing less data?
yes. I bet. Again, I'm going to bring Scotty up because he told me that he saw the '90s guys in person, and he reckons today's guys are better than the '90s guys.
90s guys condition to me, it's all a camera. Like there were peeled guys like Dorian, and the rest were below par.
But like, no one really had fucking shredded glutes.
No one had shredded glutes. Like you look at Chris Cormier, fantastic shape and everything else, but you never had peeled glutes.
No.
But if we're talking guys from like mid 2000s up, so like towards the end of Jay Cutler and when Phil started coming in, I don't think they were tracking the data that we're tracking now.
No, but I would think they were tracking a little bit more.
Do you though?
Yeah.
Like, but you'll hear them talk about things and things are still so very simple.
Yeah, but I think they're simple, but they're probably like there was a little bit more knowledge. But it's like as time goes, fuck knows where bodybuilding will be in 20 years. It might be even more complex.
Fuck that.
And we'll be the old heads and being like, fuck, it was simple back in our day, you know?
Imagine it goes backwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
Imagine everyone's like, nah, fuck this. The bros
Your next prep, just eat 400 grams of protein and 0 carbs and 0 fat and see what happens.
We're on.
It's just you'll probably get fucking shredded.
I'll be shredded in 3 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to do that for my Christmas diet. From now until Christmas, we're on it.
That's the crazy thing though, when like you hear about the stories of the guys eating no carbs and then using insulin to carb up.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if you need the insulin. Like surely you're insulin sensitive enough at that point. Unless they're having like fucking 2,000 grams of carbs or something. I don't know.
I find it wild when you hear amateurs using insulin to pump up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it depends. But also, that probably, Tom, that's a good point. That I wonder if that's why there were so many issues with maybe deaths in the 90s or like actual issues before competitions with athletes because they were smashing insulin when they didn't fucking need to.
I don't know. I feel like that would probably be more like diuretic.
Yeah, that too. That's true.
And like the lack of like scientific data that we have to support like what we do now. Like what we do now, there's a lot of science to kind of back up why we do what we do. Whereas back then it was kind of just like, this diuretic does this, this diuretic does this, and oh, we'll just try these two together, and then
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, this guy told me to do this, and I was like, fucking hell, like the number of times that you've heard about weird stories, knowing what we know now, it's like, what the fuck? Like that's insane. But
Yeah.
like heaps of people have done that shit. Like doing fucking rapid insulin before doing cardio because it, increases your sensitivity, which is going to help increase lipolysis. Like fuck. To,
It's like the risk to reward. How much of a difference is that going to make?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Risk to reward. Like that's very, very, very low reward for high risk.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it's a dangerous game we play.
It is.
We love it, but
Jordy, you going to Drake?
yes, we are going to Drake.
Tom, are you going to fly over and see Drake?
Nope.
That's not on.
That's not it, Tom.
Are you going to, Josh?
Yeah.
He's going to be here.
When is it? When is it?
February. We'll do on the 10th, I think.
Yeah. So
When
we
do
will jump on Friday, like all four of us. And be
No,
like,
tomorrow.
what do you mean tomorrow?
It's tomorrow.
No, it's not.
Have you got a MasterCard?
No.
There's like 4 different ticket releases
Is there?
Where's it?
Yeah.
Where's it being held?
in Melbourne, Sydney, and Queen.
Oh, like in Melbourne. What's the
I don't know.
venue?
Rod, I'm going to assume it's at Etihad.
Oh yeah,
Is that what they call it? Marvel.
Marvel now.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to assume.
Thought it might be at the MCG because it's fucking Drake.
Massive. Yeah.
Oh, no
No.
shit.
I don't love Drake enough to do that.
No, you don't do. You're not a big Drake fan.
I'm just searching it now.
What was I going to say? Did you train today, Tom?
I did. I trained.
It's only at Rod Laver.
Where's that?
Like
That's a
tennis court.
Oh, really?
So there'll be like 10K maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to sell out real quick.
You're right. They're on sale tomorrow.
Yeah.
MasterCard pre-sale. My ticket tech.
When
Right.
do you, Josh? When do you actually head over to Melbourne? Like for your
Well,
one?
we do actually have a date now, which is because we kind of said the end of January before, but we weren't sure because obviously we need to sell the house and let it settle. But what we're going to do is because Maya's graduation ceremony for her uni is on the 8th because she's finished uni now. So the ceremony is on the 8th of Feb. We're going to fly over on the 9th.
Yeah.
We're going to be at Drake on the 10th.
We hit Drake on the 10th.
Oh wow, that's hectic.
Yeah. It's only a night out. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So
I think I do have a MasterCard. Yeah, the boys.
So we
Yeah.
just need to, we just need to make sure that everything's set up by the time that we get over there, and
Have you started looking at places yet?
had a look at a few places. Yeah, my sister might be moving over as well for a little bit.
Oh, cool.
She just wants to get out of Perth as well, so she might come for a few months or so. So I just want confirmation first, just because we'll get a bigger place if she's going to come over for a few months.
Yeah.
So just want confirmation on that first.
That'd be handy to help out with rent because it's fucking so expensive over there.
It'd be good.
Are
It's
you
not
looking?
expensive, bro. It's not really that much more expensive than here.
I wouldn't think it would be.
So wait, what are you looking for? Like, what are the specifications that you're looking at?
We'll probably get a 3x2 as well,
3x2.
ideally.
Apartment.
If not a 2x2, yeah, apartment or house.
So what's your budget? $1,000?
No, less than $1,000. I don't pay $1,000.
Okay.
But
And you can get something like a 3x2 for like 800, 700, 800.
man sent me a few yesterday. Yeah,
That's not too bad.
Whereabouts?
it'd be in St Kilda, so a little bit further out.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
So
It's a good spot.
yeah, it's near the beach as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, St Kilda's good.
Yeah,
The right pockets of St Kilda are good.
yeah,
Like, if you want, send them to like me or Ruby, and I'll let you know if it's a safe spot.
Okay, that's handy.
I've never really seen that much like.
Last thing you want is a smack out at your front door.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that there were that many like dodgy parts of Melbourne. I'm sure there are, but I just haven't seen them. There's little pockets in Brunswick that are pretty dodgy, actually.
Yeah, Brunswick has a few. Brunswick.
Yeah.
Most of St Kilda's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought St Kilda was quite a like high end area.
Reasonable. Like anywhere near the beach in Melbourne is just fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, if you need a hand with places and all that, if you want to know if it's in a good spot or whatever, just send them through.
Thanks, bro. Appreciate that.
I get addicted to realestate.com when I look at properties.
Yeah, man, it's the same.
I'm like on that shit every day.
It's terrible.
It's a bad habit. Ruby would hate it because we'd be like 6 months before we're moving, and I'm like, I've found the place.
Bro, she's the
Found
same.
the place.
I'm like, it's not going to be there in 6 months.
Ruby would say the same to me.
What do you mean you found the next place? No, you haven't. Fuck. Terrible.
Oh, fuck.
Are you like, did you sign a bigger lease with the place that you're in now though?
Me or Tom?
You.
No, we only got a year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made the mistake last time of doing an 18 month lease.
Yeah.
And it was just like we got the dog and it was like regret doing such a long lease.
Yeah.
Because like you don't know, like with leasing especially, you don't know where you're going to be in a year. And I guess that's the benefit of leasing. You have the joy of just fucking getting up and leaving.
Yeah.
But yeah, we got a year lease. But my brother's girlfriend helped us get this place because it's with her real estate company.
Yeah.
So we got a little bit lucky with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, a year was enough.
But yeah, we will buy something eventually. But I don't want
That's
to
what I was going to ask you.
Yeah,
So
we
you-
will. But I don't know if it will be in Melbourne, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, you wouldn't want to jump into buying a property now, but
yeah, and especially with the market as well, I'd rather wait for it to come down.
which probably never happen knowing this fucking market. It just keeps going up.
It'll come down. It'll come down more, but
Yeah.
we're selling at a good time. So just rather like keep saving as much as we can and eventually be in an even better spot to buy something, you know?
Yeah, because like the reason we bought this place is because we don't plan to be like tied down, but like we just want to pay this off in the next like fucking few years and then use it to either buy another property or just have the money sitting there as a bit of a security, even just rent out the place.
Yeah.
And then maybe jump around Asia or whatever, just live wherever the fuck we want to live. Like buying a house for me was never I'm never, not to say that I would be like, oh, I have to stay in Perth. It's just like, now we've got the house. It's just like a security for us, essentially.
Yeah. You can always go back to it, even if you have you're away and you want to come back and just fuck the people off and just get back in.
Yep.
Yeah, Ruby's still writing me to move to Queensland in a year or so.
Really?
Yeah.
What stops you? Is it because you've always lived in Melbourne?
Yeah. I sort of came to the realization not long ago that there really is nothing keeping me here.
Yeah.
I
was a bit of the same. Like when Maya wanted to move, I was like, oh, it seems weird. But then I was like, oh.
Yeah, like the more I thought about it, the more I'm just like, I guess like one deterrent for me is the people in Queensland.
Yeah.
Just aren't my vibe.
Yeah.
It seems very clicky.
Yeah.
I don't do clicks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You and Ruby, like, I think you and Ruby are like Hannah and Tom and me and Maya, where you just like keep to yourselves.
Yeah. Like
have
that
like
again,
few friends.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I was saying to Rubes, I'm in an awkward phase at the moment where like the friends that I have aren't into what I'm into. Like they're not bodybuilders.
Really? Do you still have friends that aren't bodybuilders?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Like I'm getting
that's not like crazy or outlandish, but the way that Josh reacted was like, what? Like, wait,
like,
Josh, do you not have friends? Do you not have any friends that aren't bodybuilders?
Maybe one.
Fucking hell.
Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. No, I do have a few, but not like that I regularly see. Like I've got one in Melbourne. Obviously, like I've got one here. I've got maybe like two or three of them, but I don't see them. Like I see them like
Yeah,
two.
like it's
Yeah,
it's hard. Like I see them less and less,
Yeah,
and it's not for anything else. It's just
it's just about being an adult. Like,
well, the adult thing, yes, the adult thing, yes. Um, but it's like I'm almost like it's like I get nervous to see them or like anxious because I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about?
yeah. I don't get out. I don't go out on the weekends and get pissed.
Yeah, and like I'm going out this weekend. I'm catching up with the boys. I haven't seen them for a while. We're going out for drinks beforehand and then getting dinner.
Yeah,
I'm like, and these are the like two of my closest friends still, even though I don't see them often. But like one of them, we went to Europe together, and the other I've known since we were like 15.
yeah,
But I'm like, what are we going to talk about here?
yeah,
Because none of you are into what I'm into. So like everything that's going on in my life to you guys seems like nothing.
yeah,
Because I'll be like, yeah, training's really good, and I had the comp, and I'm in this phase now, and like where we can sit and talk about it,
yeah,
like it's a thing. With these guys, it's like, yeah, like training's good. I'm having fun.
yeah,
And now what? I've spoken about my whole life in 3 seconds.
yeah,
So I'm
but
like,
that's what kind of separates like the friends that are like that, but a lot of them will still pay like a lot of interest in that sort of stuff, even though it may not be up their alley. Like,
and look, I appreciate from both of them that like when the shows are on, either they'll come to the show or they'll send me a message before and after. And like to me, that's enough. That's all I need. Like I don't need a billion people showing up the show. I don't need you to understand it, but just like as a mate, just that's enough for me.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
like yeah.
yeah, go on.
I was going to say, like, my mate that lives in Melbourne, like, he's like, I met him, you know him, Tom Parks. He's he was never really into fitness at all, but like, I met him through mutual friend that I have here. And yeah, like, he's now, like, he's always like messaged before comp, like, and asked, like, just saying good luck, and even just messaged, like, asking for help and stuff as well, which is appreciated, and just asking just out of interest as well. Which is like nice, you know. It's just like it's like I appreciate it, because we obviously talk about other things, but like it's nice to like that he pays interest to that as
Yeah.
well. But like, he started doing like marathon, like Ironmans and shit as well, and I
Yeah.
find it fucking awesome. So I just ask about it. It's not something I do, but like it's cool, you know what I mean? And like obviously there's a bit of relatability there now added onto there as well because he's doing something like that.
Yeah. But
So,
like, I'll tell you what, one thing that does like ick me out is like I'll catch up with it with even not these guys, more like people that are just not in our world.
yeah,
And the question always comes around to like them asking for some sort of advice.
yeah.
And like I'm instantly rolling my eyes because I'm like, you're not gonna do anything that I tell you.
Yeah,
I think half of that is them. Like sometimes they might just genuinely want some advice,
Yeah.
and I also think a lot of it is just them trying to be relatable and trying to
yeah.
talk about something they know you're interested in.
Yeah.
yeah,
But
But
I'm the same as you. I'm like I almost feel like saying like you don't have to ask me that just because
yeah. Like, how do you politely say it's okay? You don't have
let's talk
to.
about something else. Yeah.
Like, how do you change the topic there without giving any advice? Because I also like I hate talking about myself. Like
Yeah.
I'm very quick to change the topic. So then when they ask me a question like that, I feel like I'm talking about myself and I feel like it's like almost like this superiority complex because now I'm like, I'm so good at doing what you want to do and I'm telling you how to do it. And
Yeah,
it
but
just,
I think that's something that you should change because you should be proud of that if someone wants to ask that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind
am.
talking about myself if I know that the person opposite me is genuinely interested.
Yes.
But if I feel like it's like they're coming
Yes.
across from a point of just asking because they think they need to,
Yeah.
then it's you start talking and you're like, this person doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, I have this habit that I'm not apparently, but I think a lot of people don't like it. And I don't know if it bothers anyone, but like if someone's talking about something, let's say like it upsets them, I'll bring up like a similar thing to me just so they feel like I can relate. But I feel like other people will look at it as like, oh, he's making it about himself. It's like, no, I'm just trying to relate to that person. So
Yeah.
maybe if they're talking about something that makes them feel uncomfortable, I'm just trying to like relate to them to make them feel less like uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Depends on if it's worse, because then they'll be like, oh, he's trying to one up me.
Just what up? Yeah. Yeah. But it can be hard for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have maybe 2 or 3 friends that aren't in bodybuilding at all. But I mean I've gone through the times of like going out and not drinking. And it's fucking horrible. I hate it.
So, fun fact, when I was like, I'm very much, I was more extroverted than I am now.
Yeah.
Like I was very much like, especially pre-COVID. So before me and Ruby were together, I was very much out every weekend. I was out every night, like at a cafe with mates or whatever.
Yeah.
There weren't many nights of the week that I can remember from like the age of 18 to like I was 24, 25 that I wasn't out doing something.
Yeah.
But like even when I was competing, I'd be in prep and I'd still be out every weekend.
Yeah.
I'd take a meal with me. I wouldn't drink. I'd just designate drive.
Yeah.
Drink waters. And like, because I was so extroverted at the time, I had no problem like socializing, being in prep. And it'd get to midnight, it'd get to 1 a.m. I'm like, later guys, I'm out of here, and just drive home, have a meal and go to bed.
Yeah.
But I couldn't think of doing of anything worse.
No.
Like
Yeah.
I could never do that again.
I've never been like that.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't think, I mean, maybe I have and I just can't remember, but because I did used to go out partying and stuff, but I just don't like going out in that partying atmosphere unless I'm drinking.
Yeah. I'm so past the partying stage, but part of me misses like the social life side of it.
Yeah.
Like I wouldn't mind being able to just go out for a few drinks on the weekend, like something chill.
Yeah.
But then there's part of me that's like, I can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like it's going to send me back too far.
But it's just not enjoyable.
Yeah. But in the moment it is.
Yeah, it is in the moment. But then
Like
I'm
when
like,
you're with the right people, it is.
see, I think all of us are probably a bit similar where we're all or nothing, but that's just our personality.
Yeah.
I can't go out and have like 1 or 2 drinks. If I'm going out, I'm getting fucking
I'm
blasted.
fucking sending it.
Yeah.
I had quite a
Probably
few.
going to be the most pissed person out of everyone. Yeah.
I probably, look, I'll be honest, I probably drank more at this wedding than I have like in the past 12 months.
You get
Because
really fucked up.
I'm not like all or nothing. I'm like, I'll hold back a little bit. Like I had like 7 drinks, which to
You're
some
going to
people,
give it a good push.
yeah, like it was good. It was enough for me to like have fun. It was enough for me to get a bit rowdy with people that I don't even fucking really know.
Yeah.
And I could just sense the vibe. I was like, the vibe was good. The drinks were free. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, like I'll have some fun here. Like the wedding was like fucking insane, and I didn't regret it. I felt shit for one day, but then the next day I felt fine. But yeah, like I've been there before where I've decided to like, oh, like, cool, I'll have some drinks, and then you feel shitty the next day, and the company at the time wasn't even really that good or whatever, and it wasn't really worth it. So for me, it has to be a very calculated decision. It's like, is this going to be worth it? And 9 times out of 10, it's not. But like every now and then, it is. And yeah, like I wouldn't do it again for another fucking 12 months.
Yeah.
I haven't had one where I'm like, in a long time, where I'm like, it's worth it.
No.
Yeah.
Like the last I think I got fucking like tipsy drunk was Bali 2.5 years ago.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And since then, I don't think I've been anywhere near close, let alone had a drink since then.
How many drinks would you need to get tipsy?
Mine's a lot. I have a really high tolerance.
You know what's fucked up? The more I stopped drinking, I realized this going through preps and then going back to drinking. The more I'd go without drinking, when I'd go back to drinking, my tolerance was higher.
It's ridiculous. I have done like 5 Long Island iced teas before.
Damn, boy.
Like I've been like tipsy.
Damn, boy.
And this was a long time ago. This is like 4 or 5 years ago.
So you know what this means, right?
Wow.
You know that when you guys move down here,
No.
like before May is in prep again,
God.
we're gonna send it.
Where are we going to send it at Drake?
No. Like I can't be drunk at Drake.
Why not?
I'll hit on some black girl.
Oh no. Poor
What?
I knew that was going to happen.
I wasn't listening to any of it, and all I hear is
She just heard the last snippet.
what was that in relation to?
No, I said
In a movie.
we need when they move here, we need a night out where we send it.
Okay,
Like, proper get limited.
yeah.
See, she's all for it.
I'm all for that.
And he's like, we should do it like when we're going to see Drake. I'm like, no, I can't do it when I'm going to see Drake because I'll
Why
hit
not?
on some black girl.
Why?
But that, you know what they say though, that I probably shouldn't say this.
Yeah, don't say it.
No, but the only 3 types of people in this world always tell the truth, and that's angry people, drunk people, and babies.
I've been telling him recently that I keep cheating on him in my dream.
Oh God.
See, this is why I'm going to hit on a black girl.
But it's like, it must be because something is missing.
Maybe.
This bitch.
Yo. You know, you're hitting on a black woman.
All right.
All right, boys.
We should wrap that up.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. It's been a
Catch
pleasure.
up.
Love you all long time.
Love yous.
Love yous.
Peace out.
Bye-bye.
Bye.